Hello to each of you and welcome to AGRM 2310 Greenhouse Management Online. In this presentation, I want to walk you through eLearn and show you where certain things are in our class and kind of talk to you about the layout of the class so that you don't get confused maybe as much as we go throughout the semester. When you come to your home page, which should look something like this, in the right-hand column you'll see that there is a link to greenhouse management. There's also a link to the Greenhouse Management Lab that we will not use because we'll house everything within this link. So if you click on Greenhouse Management, and I assume you have or you wouldn't be here, then you'll see this welcome post, and this is where news items will pop up throughout the semester. Just as a way of introduction, my name is Tara Bunch. I have taught at Water State for 4.5 years and was a high school ag teacher before that, so I've got about 7.5 years of teaching experience. You can see my contact information here. If you're going to email me, I prefer that you use this email address here, the tara.bunch@ws.edu, just because it comes to me more directly and I'll see it quicker. If you do decide that you will email me an eLearn, there may be some delay on that. Then my office number is listed here. If you need to leave a message at that number, that's great. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. And then my cell phone number is also listed here. Please keep your contact via cell phone to matters of urgency. In other words, if you have something that's just really important, go ahead, but keep in mind that if you have an assignment due on a Sunday night and you send me a text or you call me at Sunday night on my cell phone, I may not answer. I kind of reserve my cell phone as my personal space, and so don't expect me to answer that all the time. I also would like for you to note under that where it says that I will try to respond to your concerns as quickly as possible. However, you need to allow 24 working hours. So if you send me a message at 4 o'clock on Friday, it may be 4 o'clock Monday before I can get back to you. So always be looking ahead and planning for that. So let's click at the top under Course Information. Click on Content. When you get here under the Start Here menu, you will see three pretty important documents. The first is the syllabus. If we are to look at the syllabus, you'll see that it gives us, there's my number again, it gives us the location of my office. It'll tell you which textbook is available and how you can get that textbook. It's actually a CD, so you'll be getting a PDF. It will also show you that the course outcomes are that you should be able to analyze factors for the successful startup of a greenhouse business. You should be able to demonstrate skills needed for management of a greenhouse business. You should be able to develop an effective greenhouse management plan and use the appropriate safety procedures and equipment. So, sorry about that pop-up. We won't be looking in this class at plants as much as the structures of the greenhouse. If you're interested in plants in the greenhouse, we do that in the spring class, AGRM 2210. We're going to come back to the grading scale, but it is listed in the syllabus. The biggest thing that I want to point out to you is about this late assignments. Late assignments will not be accepted unless it's previously discussed with the instructor. Your drop boxes, or the place that you're going to turn in assignments, will close at midnight on Sunday night of the night things are due. After that point, they're late. You will have one pass for late assignments in case you have an emergency or your computer crashes or whatever. Whenever you submit that late assignment, you'll need to send me an explanation telling me why it's late, then tell me what was the original due date. That way I can keep up with why, if it was a legitimate reason or not. You'll have 1 week from the original due date. If you wait longer than that 1 week, then you cannot turn in assignments regardless of the reason. And remember that in an online class, communication is key. We don't see each other face to face, so I need for you to communicate with me via email and via phone messages to let me know what's going on. The drop deadline is November 5th, and then any kind of ground rules set forth by the college, or if you need any kind of tutoring services, or if you need disability services, you can open this syllabus, and all of those phone numbers and offices are listed. I'm going to go back to the content area under Start Here, and I'm going to open up the schedule. You'll see here a week by week schedule for the semester. You'll notice that for the week that you're dealing with, you'll have the assignments that are due listed on the right, and it'll give you the due date at the top. Remember, those are due by midnight of the date listed. And then under points and grading scale, you'll see that each week you'll have a weekly assignment which is worth 20 points, and there are 15 weeks, so you'll have 20 points for a total of 300. Each week there will also be a weekly handout that is worth 10 points. We'll have a midterm which is worth 100 points, a final which is worth 100 points, and then you will have to do a lab which is worth 250 points. If you look at the grading scale, let me move my mouse down here, you'll see that if you would like to have an A, you need to earn 819 points, or 91% of the total points. And then you can see the total point scale here. So let's go back and let's look at lab. You guys will be expected in lab to work in an actual greenhouse. There's no way for us to do a lab online that can simulate working in a greenhouse. If you do not have a greenhouse that you can work in, you're welcome to work in the one here at Walter State, but you can ask greenhouses around your area. You do need to get the advisor or the boss at that greenhouse to sign this agreement. I'm going to need these by the end of the first week so that we can make sure that everyone has an appropriate lab placement. And I will need the number for that person so that I can contact them and make sure that they are willing to participate. Also, under your lab report, each week you're going to fill out this lab report. I do expect that in this lab report that you completely fill out this report and that you fill it out in time. I do not expect you to have duties performed watered greenhouse. That's not sufficient. You need to give me a description of what happened. You need to give me the observations of anything that you noticed. If there's any unfinished work, what is the time frame that you have to complete it? Keep in mind is just things that if you were going to go in the greenhouse business by yourself, what are things that you could keep in mind or that you should remember? You know, maybe you need to remember that on thus and such date you transplanted mums or whatever the case may be. And then each week your advisor will need to sign off on that. There's a drop box where you can put those, but they're not due until the end of class. So during this first week, you will watch this pesticide handler and workers protection video, and there is a handout that needs to be completed with that video. You'll do a chapter 12 assignment. The instructions are under this link. And then you will do a private grower pesticide application record assignment, and you'll need these 3 pieces of information under there. As you complete those assignments, you'll want to come under the assessment tab, click on Dropbox, and then there will be a drop box where you can turn in each of those assignments. Like I mentioned earlier, these assignment drop boxes will close on midnight of the due date. And you can just click on there. Mine will look a little different than yours, but it will give you the option to upload a file and you can send that to me. Another thing here that we need to look at is the discussion board. If you have any general questions, you can post them here, and you feel free to answer other people's questions, or I'll try to stay on top of that and make sure that your questions get answered, but that's an extra place for you to kind of post some questions. And as soon as you finish this video, I would like for you to come under this introduction section and tell us a little bit about yourself. Let us know who you are, kind of what your purpose in taking this class is, and what you enjoy. And then I would encourage you to look at other people in the course's introductions and talk to them and kind of get to know each other, because sometimes it's difficult when we don't communicate in a classroom and then we have questions, we don't have anyone to turn to. So that's kind of a place for everyone to get to know each other. Alright, and then once we come to quizzes, they will be listed under quizzes. Those are not here at this moment because you won't have a quiz this week, but there will be quizzes available. If you continue to look under course information, we can come back here. This is where you'll also see your grades posted. As grades are finished, you can see that here. And then under course tools, I will not really use any of these for you guys, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. I'm going to come back to the content tab here. So I think that about wraps up things to get you started. If you can think of any questions, please post them to that discussion board. I really would rather you post questions there. That way if other students have the same questions or concerns, they can see the answer. Or you can always send me an email. With that being said, I hope we have a great semester and talk to you later.